Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Good morning. This is Daybreak News on Dominion Television. I'm Uluwayemi Adelakun. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has filed a 3-count criminal charge against senior lawyer Mike Zekome San over alleged fraud involving a property in London. The charge at the Abuja High Court accused Zekome of complicity in a large-scale corruption case linked to a house located at 79 Rundle Avenue, London. The ICPC alleged that Zekome received the property in August 2021 and later used a forged Nigerian passport bearing the name Shani Tali to support claims of ownership. The offences, according to the Commission, violate provisions of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act and the Penal Code of the Federal Capital Territory. The Anti-Corruption Agency has listed several exhibits and witnesses, including ICPC investigators and a representative of the Nigerian Immigration Service, to support its case. The matter is yet to be assigned to a judge at the Abuja High Court. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have arrested a long-wanted drug kingpin, Lekon Jimo, popularly known as Komo Komo, 12 years after his alleged involvement in the killing of 3 NDLEA officers. He was arrested on Friday, January 16, 2026, in Owode Town, Ogun State, following intelligence-led operations by the agency's tactical teams. The NDLEA said the search of Jimo's hideout led to the recovery of 69 kilograms of skunk, a strain of cannabis. In a statement, the agency's spokesperson, Femi Babafemi, said the suspect had been on his wanted list since June 15, 2014, after allegedly mobilizing armed thugs to attack NDLEA officers who attempted to arrest him. Babafemi described the arrest as a breakthrough, stressing that it underscores the agency's resolve to ensure that fugitives do not escape justice, regardless of how long they remain at large. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has denied reports claiming it asks its members to contribute 10,000 naira each to fund party activities, describing the allegations as false and misleading. In a statement issued by its National Publicity Secretary, Comrade Ini Emembong, the PDP explained that comments made during a media interview were wrongly sensationalized. According to the party, the remarks were in response to a question on funding following recent defections and were meant to restate its long-standing belief in voluntary, grassroots-based funding. The PDP stressed that the mention of 10,000 naira was only an illustration of how collective voluntary contributions could strengthen the party, not a compulsory levy. It urged members and the public to disregard the misleading report and continue supporting the party voluntarily. The Olugbo of Orile-Egbon Oba Francis Alao has assured Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde that members of the State Council of Obas and Chiefs will give full support to the new chairman Oba Rashidi Ladoja. The assurance was given during the governor's visit to the Monarch's Palace in Orile-Egbon, Surulere local government area. Oba Alao thanked Governor Makinde for the visit and pledged that traditional rulers across the state 5 zones, Ibadan, Oyo, Ogbomoso, Okeogun, and Ibarakba, are united in backing Oba Ladoja's leadership of the council. Governor Makinde had inaugurated the Oyo State Council of Obas and Chiefs after 15 years, with the Olubado of Ibadan, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, emerging as its first chairman. In business this morning, the Nigerian Ports Authority (NPA) reports that 20 ships are currently discharging petroleum products and other commodities at the Apapa, Lekki and Tinkan Island Port in Lagos. The authority disclosed these in its latest shipping position released. According to the NPA, the vessels are carrying items such as petrol, diesel, crude oil, aviation fuel, containers, bulk gas, buckwheat, fresh fish, urea, salt, and general cargo. The authority also said 9 ships have arrived and are awaiting berthing with similar cargoes. Meanwhile, the NPA noted that 35 additional ships laden with petroleum products, food items, and other goods are expected to arrive at Lagos Port between now. As announced the appointment of Ayodeji Ayeni as their new technical advisor. Ayeni joins the Aba-based club from Nigeria National League side, Crown FC. He replaces veteran coach Stanley Eguma, who was relieved of his duties in November. Ayimba confirmed the appointment in a statement stating that the touchline as a new leader, Ayeni will be tasked with reviving the fortunes of the Aba giant and the push for improved performances. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast and X at Dominion Cars. That's Daybreak News. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun saying thank you for watching and good morning.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominion Cast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us this morning. This is Newspaper Headlines and Analysis. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun, and I'm not alone in the studio this morning. I have with me Shemu Oluwole, who is a public affairs analyst. Welcome on board this morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, great to have you. Let's start from this 7th presidency debate over religious balance on Tinubu's ticket, odds up. And that headline has these riders. Northern leaders rule out Bishop Kuka, say he is politically exposed. X-ray General Musa and Yewatda. Speaking about 2027 general elections, a lot of Nigerians, even politicians, are not so comfortable with those who make up, the cabinet of the president. And of course, they are concerned about 2027 as well. Let us not forget that, there were lots of controversies about the Muslim ticket for the 2023. Now we are moving towards the general elections for 2027. Of course, it's contesting again. Really, at this point, should we still be concerned about, those who form his cabinet, or we should be concerned about those who can really do the job? Because a lot of Nigerians are talking about the fact that Nigeria is a federal country, so federal character must be in place, must be put in place to ensure that a lot of persons are pacified looking at the cabinet of this current administration.
Now, with the issue of things in Nigeria, particularly talking about the issue of the insecurity, and when Trump has to come out and said that a lot of Christians are being persecuted and to tilt to one side or the other. Now we'll be talking about a lot of imbalance concerning the religion divide. But to me, that shouldn't be what we should be talking about now. We should be talking about the competence of the people that we want to put in power. Now we're talking about Bishop Kuka. He doesn't have the capacity to do it. But let's talk about the capacity in the first place. Okay. How politically inclined is he? We are talking about a clergyman, and we are talking about politics. The two, to me, might not be able to mix down or go well down with some people. That okay, at the end of the day, he might be religiously motivated to do some things when he is in power with the presidency. So the likes of people saying that, oh, we don't believe in him, we don't want him, and see, if we keep on looking at all these and judging things biased on religion and everything, we might not be able to put some things right in this country. Because coming from 2023, where we are at a Muslim ticket now, we are trying to look at a Muslim-Christian ticket, and most religion, it has come to stay. I wouldn't, I would like to say it, but it shouldn't be prioritized. That shouldn't be the priority of governance in Nigeria now. That we have to look at religion before we put you into power, before we put you into the office. No, religion shouldn't be. Because if you ask me, Nigeria as it is, we have a medieval type of religion that tends to be, how do I call it now, the Isheshe sort of people before we have the Christianity and the Islamic sort of religion. What about these people? Okay. Same thing. Same thing. That is what we still rely on.
Okay.
That is what we still rely on. It has to be a Muslim Christian or a Christian Muslim or this or that. Must it be? No, why don't we just take a look at how competent this person can be to handle things, to handle matters, to handle national issues. Okay. It shouldn't be based on a religious divide or whatever. So let us look at competency in the first place before we now decide to look into the religious divide that, oh, this person can do it better, this person cannot do it better. Before you even take a look at that, we still have some other people that not only Christians, we have a lot of things, a lot of beliefs among people nowadays. This is the 21st century or going move. So why must it be? Why must it not base? Because in other climes, I don't actually see them basing their offices or choosing people into office with all these kind of issues.
Okay, it's really a huge one to explain honestly, because it's going to that Nigeria is a secular state, because over the years.
But we don't see it as one as like a secular one. We don't see it. We have prioritized just two that are just two is pivotal. It's either you are a Muslim or it's either you are a Christian. What about our medieval reign? We have people coming, like I posted something on my WhatsApp status that there are people living at the River Niger area before Mongo Park came in. And the people carried him there that, okay, come and discover it. What about the people living there? Were they even taking it to consideration? Were they recorded? Okay,
but this traditional African religion adherents, are they interested in politics? That's another angle.
Definitely everybody is interested in politics. It affects everyone. Okay, now, why are we now so biased about Bishop Coker? If you tell me that, are they affected?
No,
so are we not saying that Christians now are affected directly, or Muslims are more directly affected more than these people? No,
the argument now is not those who are affected. It's about interest. There was a time that a lot of persons came out to say that the youth will complain about governance, but then they are not really interested in joining politics. So I'm talking about the other parts now. Do you think they're interested in politics?
Let me chip this in. Okay. Do you think these people claiming to be Christians or Muslims don't still go back to these people for one or two things? Do you think?
You tell me. I want to know.
Some people do that. If there are not such instances, we won't be having rituals. You will go through your junction early in the morning and see some sacrifices or whatever in calabashes or things. So everybody will be affected by politics. It touches everybody. So the idea of them being interested in it is no. Don't let us put it that way. Everybody's affected by it, and we are interested in it. It's just that they won't come out and tell you, oh, I'm actually deep into this. Because over the years, we've tend to shame it, or shame it, or sign the okay, or whatever it is we need to do about it. We've down-talked it. We've down-talked it more than any other thing. So people will actually come out and say they are doing this. But people that are in it, we also tell you that we are interested in politics.
Okay. I think it's a fine place to leave that discussion. It's up to the current administration, on the type of people they want to bring in. Speaking of their cabinet and all of those, and of course, I think it's also a lesson to the other opposition parties to determine how
they want to structure their own
cabinet
offices
as
with their cabinet.
Okay, let's cross over to the Guardian newspaper. I have this headline, a very funny headline actually. Legal orders, assembly silence, deepen Rivers impeachment uncertainty. It's looking like a drama, scene now, and I must confess, the scriptwriter is very good, because at some point we had 27 lawmakers who said that's the third majority. Fubara must go. And at some point, 2 of the lawmakers came out to say we are no longer.
We are no longer.
2
another
more
2 came out
to say, and then recently the 4 of them came together to say that, oh, I think we are going back to the impeachment process, because I listened to, one of them now, one of the women says something, that I really do not understand. She said, ever since we came out to say we are not part of this impeachment process, trying to use talks to maybe harass them or things like that. What do you make of all of this? Is this another chapter, another scene in this old drama going on in Rivers State, really?
What I say is that I think Fubara is playing out to his competency in handling matters is what I question.
Do you think he's naive politically? Because a certain analyst mentioned that maybe if you look at the way he's handling this matter, it reveals the fact that he might be a little bit naive about politics.
The moment you have like 4 lawmakers coming out to say, okay, we are backing out, then you should have seen the loophole. There's a loophole actually that, oh, I can actually enter in from there. But you didn't take the advantage of that.
What if it's a game and he's trying to play safe? One of
like
the lawmakers is a member of his local government of Obiapo.
Like how? Playing safe like how? You already have 4 people that have pulled out. Capitalize on that. Use them as a tool to enter into the remaining set of people. Get to know what their grievances are. Sit down with them and talk about it. That's why you're a politician. Now, let's say the analyst now saying that he's naive politically. Definitely he is. Because a very good politician, a governor in that, for instance, you should have the whims and caprices of how to manage your House of Assembly, your lawmakers. But you are not doing it well. You are not doing it well. It's like, have you ever reached out to these people? Have you ever talked to them? Have you ever tried and dangle the carrot before them? Try and do something. Dangle the carrot, put it in front of them and let them, direct them where to go. You are the governor, for crying out loud. Now, lawmakers are not threatening you to, okay, we are going to impeach you. And you, okay, what are your grounds against me that you want to impeach me? Can we sit down and talk about it? Okay, even let's talk about family. I'm divorcing you. Can we still talk about it? The court will still call you to order. Can we resolve it? Now, we are having a marriage of whatever here, and you as the landlord, you can't manage your wives. They are your wives for crying out loud. You should be able to handle them. You are the leader. You are the political head. You are the political head, the party head of your state.
Okay. Some analysts have also argued, because I love to surf the internet a lot and I love to feel the pulse of the people. They are saying that, what if this is a distraction? To shift the attention away from its principle. Because a lot of persons, when this whole impeachment process started, it came out to say that, okay, we know who is trying to do something, who is trying to kick him out of the office. And then even Wike himself came out to say that today, if he doesn't do something about it, he made a mistake the first time and he wants to correct the mistake. And we ensure that, Fubara doesn't get, the second-term ticket. What do you make of all of this? Some are saying maybe it's just a distraction to say, okay, why not allow 4 lawmakers come out to say we are no longer part, and then at the end of the day, they come back to say,
okay, we are still moving ahead with it.
We are sad.
Saying that this might be a distraction. Yes, it might. It might be. And to me, it might not. But I'll still say that the whole issue of, at the end of the day, you learn to manage things. Now, Wike is aggrieved, a lot of people are aggrieved and everything. Why don't we just put this thing to rest and go on from there? Wike is angry with you that you're moving into the opposition without him and everything, informing him and everything. That should have come from him and everything. It's just a lot to take in at the end of the day. It's turned out to be a drama. That's why, okay, like you said now, it might be a distraction, it might not be, and everything. So at the end of the day, it looks like one, and at the end of the day, it doesn't look like one. But at the end, let's just relax, keep our fingers crossed, because what I believe is the governor himself can still manage things, even with his principal. Can still manage things regardless of whatever it is that has happened.
Okay.
Wike should now come out and tell us, are you actually gunning for APC or you still remain with PDP? Because now Wike is crossed with him because he moved to APC without informing him about anything and everything. Do you really care?
Okay.
Do you really care about him moving into APC and whatever? There's always been a lot of cross-carpeting among politicians in the first place. So why should you care? Why should you care that he did it without you or without your consent, or you should have done that? Do you really care? You are not even, your performance or your capacity is not in even the capacity of a party man. Or you are a minister. You've been called to duty. So things like party should be stepped aside for now. Should be aside for now for you, Wike.
Okay. We expect more drama from Rivers State. Is a peculiar state.
It's a peculiar state to mention.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Let's move away from Rivers State and cross over to New Telegraph this morning. And of course, the writer is saying, as NATO allies unite over Trump's threat, I think Trump came out recently, I think it slammed a 10% tariff on certain European countries because, they are trying to, hinder him, in what he's trying to do in Greenland. And of course, a certain prime minister and even politicians and those trying to do this old tariff, he said he's going to increase it to 25% around June and July if care is not taken. What do you make of all of this? Because, yes, he's tried to intervene in certain matters, and we've seen results. But at this point, looking at Greenland as we speak, do you think, Trump should calm down a little bit? Because that's what a lot of people are saying across the world. According
to what I teach, a very minute country up there, up north, in the Antarctica, in the Arctic area. Why the southern interest of Trump in Greenland? Why trying to annex Greenland? You've threatened Canada. Now is Greenland. Is there something we are not actually looking into concerning Greenland? Now, you going into, U.S. is the major financier of United Nations.
Yeah.
Now, for Europe now to come together to make an ally against, to make a coalition against U.S. regarding Greenland, they need funds. They need funds. Where are they going to get the funds from?
The tariff is also a problem.
Yeah, so now, that is it. They need Greenland. Can they actually do that? Because of all these tariffs now. And they need funds. Denmark cannot do it alone to defend Greenland against the U.S. They need the whole of NATO in this area now.
What about France?
France is just one country out of NATO. France is just one country out of NATO. We need every one of them to come. What is their own financial pool inside the United Nations? For NATO now to say that we want to come against, okay, Trump has now slammed them with various types of... they don't. Let's go back to the history of the First World War and the Second World War.
No, U.S. was aloof in the First World War, actually.
U.S. during the Second World War.
Okay.
They were involved in the First World War when we have the League of Nations.
Yeah.
Now, during the Second World War, they acted into the Pearl Harbor to do the bombings and everything that Roosevelt now have to declare war on Japan and involve themselves in the Second World War. They can actually alienate themselves from the rest of the world, from NATO. America has decided to pull out of a lot of United Nations agencies and all these whatever now, and they are still good by it. Can NATO actually do without them? Without the US in the Second World War, would they have conquered Germany, the Normandy landing and everything? Would they have been able to do that?
There were several, should I call it alliance now? So it wasn't just about the U.S. alone.
Even
in the First World War, we had
what
several alliances.
What other alliances do we have, apart from NATO?
No, I'm not talking about NATO. I'm talking about the countries that came together, against Germany. So it wasn't just one country.
I know, it's just one country.
Yeah.
But the most powerful of them, we have Russia and US. Russia was badly hit during the Second World War. Russia was badly hit. It's in Europe too. So the same thing will still happen. Will still happen. So they should just forget about it. So NATO now trying to defend Greenland, while we still have all these tariffs, they should just try and talk about it with Trump. What does he really want in Greenland? You've been diving into so many things. Venezuela here, Greenland there, still threatening Canada. We still have Iran, and we still have the issue with Iran right now.
He says several times that he's trying to defend the Monroe Doctrine, to say that U.S. I'm sure you understand what I mean by that. Has the capacity to actually intervene in certain areas, in certain countries, to ensure that those people are well catered for. But especially with Venezuela, he said he's trying to defend the people.
Defend the people? Did the people complain?
Yes, there were several protests against the leader.
If, God forbid, if such a thing happens in Nigeria, we will see people that will go with the government and people that will be against the government. The same thing will happen.
Okay.
Now, let us see how it plays out. That now, the oil of Venezuela, you'll be taking it, you'll be doing whatever business you want to do with it, and you'll be spending the money on Venezuelans, and you think they will be happy, and you think they have that much. People will still ask for more. They still ask for more. And then you get to know that Venezuelans can really ask for more, like Oliver Twist, and they are not actually getting what they want. And why don't you just leave us alone in the first place?
Okay. Away from Trump now, good luck to Greenland as we speak, and of course other countries, Iran, and people are still asking, should U.S. be able to be calm about some of those things? It depends on Trump as we speak.
I think Trump has just decided to come out gun blazing everywhere. Gun blazing everywhere. He wants to just be...
He's yet to invade Iran. Though I think the leader of that country came out to say that if Trump should invade, they will also be at alert to receive them. Okay, let's talk about another headline. I have this one that says 40 terrorists killed in Borno as NAV4 planned attacks. And then the rider is saying APC chieftain abducted from office in Ondo. Did you hear about that? A certain chieftain was abducted in Ondo State, and it's around the Bokoda in Ondo State. And then up till now, much has not been said about his whereabouts. Yeah. And then white peace pact with bandit hasn't tamed insecurity by lawyers. This all peace pact, this all president, I think the president did quite a number of things, to put some things in place, employ more people, because according to the army, most of them are overstretched, and then we have the new sheriff in town. Okay, let's fund, the army more so that they can be able to tackle this whole insecurity matter. But it appears that we are seeing more cases, day after day. What is going on?
The moment you try as much as possible to have peace pacts with bandits, with terrorists, you've actually given them the know that they actually exist. You are afraid of them.
Okay.
Over the years, I think according to what I know, Britain didn't actually want to come out, and we never even sit down with IRA, the Irish Republican Army. There are some certain set of them that go on terrorism and everything. You will hear America saying we will never negotiate with terrorists. But here in Nigeria, we see a lot of pardoning. You don't pardon terrorists. You don't. The moment you start doing that, let's have a peace pact, you've empowered them. is like an hydra monster. When you cut 1, 2 more, or 3, go in its place. So the moment you try and pacify this side, another side will come up and tell you they still want the same thing that you don't pacify bandits. You have empowered them. We are trying to put an end to terrorism and put an end to this and that, and yet we are not having a way through with it. Are we saying we can't actually fight it out with them, or slug it out with them in the first place? Now, the ones that you've pacified, you rehabilitate them into the army. Yet you are not complaining that information is being leaked. How truly are you sure that these people are truly converted to your own beliefs and ideologies?
Okay, what about now that the United States is in the picture? Recently, certain materials were released to Nigeria to tackle insecurity.
How much of that material has been put to place, has been put to use? We've always gotten materials and we'll come out and tell you, oh, we now have RPGs, we have rocket launchers, we have this, we have that. While they have more than that. I keep saying it. The normal gun you find with the police and everything, they are rusty. Haven't you seen that? Do you see new guns with our policemen on the streets? Rusty things they are carrying about. Very rusty.
What about the army?
The army will still handle the same thing. They might still handle the same thing.
I'm not sure
they will tell you
the army guns
whether it's rusty, whether whatever it is. But what about the equipment that have been given? We have sophisticated materials that can be used. We have drones. How many fighter bombers do we have and everything? So, yet we still have not been able to stem it in the bud. And we still have to come and say, okay, let us still negotiate with these people. Then what is the use of all our equipment? We still have to negotiate. And we have people being up the idea of community policing and everything. To me, everything concerning security is just in shambles. It's in shambles there. So we need to sit down, do something more robust concerning security. Despite the fact that America decided to come into airports, we still need to do more, give them more room to operate. Maybe things will get better. So that's what I think.
Okay. I think it's a great place to put it this morning. Thank you so much, Shewolu Wale, for being a part of this discussion. I hope that, in a few months, we come back and talk about, how things have been able to go back to normal, speaking about insecurity. And a big thanks to the audience as well, hopefully. Thank you for being a part of the segment. We need to take a short break, and when we come back, we move on to Big Story. My name is Oluwayemi Adelakun. Please stay with us.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? To mix commercial, corporate video, or live event? With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Good morning and welcome to the big story on Daybreak Live. This segment where we go beyond headlines to uncover the forces shaping our society, our economy, and our future. Today, the attention shifts to a subject that continues to stir national conversation, influence public trust, ripple effect, tracing the human and economic cost of corruption in the corridors of power. Corruption is often discussed in figures, reports, and statistics. But behind those numbers are real people, real communities, and real opportunities lost. From stalled infrastructure to weakened institutions and growing social inequality, the impact runs deeper than we often imagine. And to help us unpack this critical issue, we are joined by our guest, Ofino Ignatius, who will offer insight into how corruption at the top filters down to everyday life and what it truly costs a nation striving for progress. Now, very quickly, when corruption takes root in the corridors of power, instead, it creates a ripple effect that spreads across the economy, social structures, and the daily lives of citizens. Funds meant for healthcare, education, infrastructure, and job creation often vanish into private pockets, leaving behind under-equipped hospitals, overcrowded classrooms, poor roads, and growing sense of public frustration. And over the years, reports from anti-corruption agencies, civil society groups, and international organizations have repeatedly highlighted how financial leakages weaken national development. Economists argue that corruption discourages foreign investment, raises the cost of doing business, and slows economic growth. And lastly, social analysts, on the other hand, points to the erosion of trust in leadership and institutions, which can lead to voter apathy, youth disillusionment, and increased social tension. I have with me in the studio this morning, Ofino Ignatius. Good to have you in the studio.
Good morning, Samson. I'm delighted to be here this morning.
Right. Ofino, with him, we'll be making sense of this particular one. When we witness corruption at the highest level, what implication does it have for a country like Nigeria?
When you talk about the word corruption subjectively, what does corruption mean? Corruption means when you are taking what does not belong to you.
All right, welcome back. That was a very quick break. And Ofino Ignatius.
Robin, he defined economics as a social science which study the relationship, which studies human behavior in relationship to ends and scarce means, which have what? Alternative uses. What he was trying to say is this: scarce means what? That resources is limited. Resources must be utilized optimally, because resources can be transformed to different uses and alternatives. So that was what he was trying to say. So corruption itself is a monster that affects the growth and development of any nation. What we call budget.
Olusegun Obasanjo decided to establish the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and ICPC. It was something again in the issue of what is aiding corruption in this country. Should I tell you? The plea bargaining in law. That plea bargaining aids corruption. I stole 1 billion naira, but as a result of plea bargaining, I'm going to part away with 500 million. Then the remaining 500 million now, I will go away with it.
The plea bargaining.
How they do it in other parts of the world. But the Nigerian own version of plea bargaining promotes corruption of us all, not to certain few. So politicians in this country, they are corrupt because we have a weak system. Look at the Anti-Graft Commission. I remember in this country, there was what we call the oil windfall during Babangida's regime. At the end of the day, they set up a panel of inquiry. What happened? It became a media trial. $12 billion oil windfall during IBB's regime. That one apart. What about the issue of Abacha looting? That one aside. What about the issue of Halliburton scam?
Some said Abacha.
What about the issue of Dasuki Gate?
Some said Abacha did not steal. That's what is it out there.
A thief will always celebrate a thief. A thief will only celebrate a thief. A just man can never celebrate an unjust man. It's not possible. They are all the same. Even when they came to the issue of Muhammadu Buhari, they were celebrating him as a man of integrity. For 8 years that he ruled Nigeria, was there no high-level corruption during his own regime? There was still high-level corruption.
How about one individual being upright and then having so many people around him who are corrupt?
Is he not supposed to?
Does it make him corrupt too?
Yes! Let me give you an instance. When you are talking about public leadership, it's about service delivery to the people. For now, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the executive officer of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is assumed that he is the chief of army staff. It is assumed that he is the minister of defense. It is also assumed he is the inspector general of police. He is assumed as being the minister of finance and the coordinating minister of the economy. He is assumed to be the minister of health too.
But there are people who feel this.
But he now decided to appoint people in to prosecute them according to prosecute them according to the law. That shows that silence become what? A consent. So that is the issue. You can't tell me that you are a man of integrity when your cabinet ministers are corrupt and you are silent about it. Silent in the midst of evil is evil itself. No. The conspiracy of silence in the midst of evil is evil itself.
Now, let's talk about the consequences of corruption in the nation.
Yes.
Right? Okay, if Nigerian hospitals receive huge budget on a yearly basis, why do politicians still prefer to travel abroad? Now, is corruption about politicians alone or the Nigerian people too?
Nigeria have their own blame.
Is it an Hydra-headed situation here?
Is it politicians also have their own blame?
Hydra-headed situation here?
It's a Hydra-headed situation. So a country to be greater than America.
Ofino, are you patriotic?
That revolution is morally justified. They want a greater freedom. Anarchical ideology is there. America got its own independence through revolution. I'm not calling for revolution in Nigeria, but the people must try to ensure that they vote out bad government.
Between a civil servant that stole 50,000 naira and a politician that stole maybe 20 billion naira. He's being prosecuted. Why a politician?
The one that stole 50 naira has the tendency to, if he has opportunity, to steal 50 billion. But the one that stole 50 billion has caused a multiplier damage to the economy. The other 20 billion naira was supposed to be used to transform the lives of millions of Nigerians. That 20 billion naira is enough for you to transform our educational system, to transform the healthcare delivery system, to create more roads, to build more roads and bridges for urbanization. But someone now decided to steal the money into private hands. At the end of the day, they now negotiate, go into what we call plea bargaining.
Now, talking about
the judiciary too, they also, that part of the law that says that plea bargaining should be expunged. I know in the law school I may be expelled. In the Nigerian law school I may be expelled because I'm going to say, we say we are fighting corruption.
And we are saying that the plea bargaining should be allowed. That if I stole 1 billion naira, I can return. If you say in the West, plea bargaining is a principle in law, can we not expurge it from our own law system in Nigeria so that it becomes a model before the rest of the world?
Okay, let me ask you this. Now, let's go to the floor of the House. You are talking about the judiciary area.
The members of House of Assembly,
it's in for
the executive arm of government was supposed to be in charge of constituency. Oh, the executive arm of government should be in charge of what called execution of what? Public project. What the legislative can do is what we call oversight function. Yeah. But when Chief Olusegun came into power, you know the game of power, they now gave them what we call constituency allowance for that project so that the people can really know that they have a representative. But it was being abused. When you come up with a laudable idea in Nigeria, Nigeria abused it. There was nothing wrong. When Chief Olusegun mooted that idea, he developed that idea. Let there be a constituency project so that you that is a senator can have a constituency project within your senatorial district so that the people will have a belonging. They will not be part of what we call inclusive governance. The same thing happened to what we call a federal House of Representatives. The same thing also applied to state constituency, but it was being abused. Most of those money are being cornered privately. So now when they are now doing what we call, you know, most of our politicians, you know what they do? They say empowerment program. Empowerment program. You are not building industries. You are supposed to build industries, build business firms. Rather, what they choose to do is what we call empowerment program. They will not give it to their loyalists, party loyalists. Generator. Yes, party loyalists. That is corruption. What a country, what a government, and what a people.
Is there a lasting solution to defending corruption publicly in Nigeria? We have seen people do it. You are corrupt, and then there is a justification by that corrupt person about why he did what he did.
The reputation of the country is at stake. Is Nigeria as a country a model in Africa? You are corrupt and you are still boasting. You are corrupt. They gave you a traditional title. Our traditional institution is also at fault. How will you be giving traditional titles to people that are corrupt?
How about a politician that walks straight from prison to a political office?
If he was a freedom fighter, it is justified. But if it was a corrupt officer,
on corruption,
if the person was charged of corruption and came into power, what a country and what a people. It will never happen in a Senate climb. You know, we have what we call political fugitives. You know, political fugitives, those who are fighting for political freedom, they can be incarcerated by the oppressive government. If those ones now, at the end of the day, they are now released from prison and they are now being elected as president or governor, that one is morally justified. But someone that is corrupt, at the end of the day, becoming our president, becoming our governor, becoming the local government chairman, it does not speak well about our own reputation as a country before the international community. So when we are talking about corruption in this country, corruption has destroyed Nigeria because there is no dire consequence. In China today, China is a communist country. What do they apply? They apply what we call punishment. Now, some people are suggesting that there should be a capital punishment for those who are corrupt in Nigeria. The so-called politicians are raising objection. They said no. What they want is plea bargaining. So the judiciary has a role to play. An unjust judge cannot deliver a just judgment.
Against record-breaking government budgets, where do you see that going?
When you look at the poverty index in Nigeria, is very high. The standard of living low.
We keep increasing the figure when it comes to budgets.
High. The cost of living high. So we have to be honest to ourselves. When you look at this poverty, it is being caused by bad governance. Resources will not be enough. But if you are a good manager of resources, you can be able to allocate the resources optimally. And I keep saying it over and over again, that you are a professor does not make you a good administrator. That you have a PhD does not make you a philosopher. Good leaders are born, they are not made. Philosophers are born. Look at Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the late sage, he was a philosopher, our own version of Nostradamus, who saw the future. He was a socialist. He knew that the only way to allocate resources evenly to the people is for us to adopt socialism. He was a socialist. But when you look at the present president we're having now, he's a capitalist to the core, and greed is the basis of capitalism. When you look at Chief MKO Abiola, he was a capitalist to the core, but he decided to adopt socialism because he felt that socialism plus welfareism, that is what Nigeria needs. You know, during his campaign, there was what called the Abiola milk. They produced milk and branded it Abiola milk. There was the Abiola rice that time, MKO Abiola rice. It was that time Nigeria did not see it as inducement.
Was that not corruption?
They knew that this man believed, though he was a capitalist to the core, but he feel that the only way he can be able to salvage the situation is for him to adopt the socialist ideal. So it wasn't, you know, let us be honest to ourselves. Corruption is a deadly monster that does no economy any good. Look at the issue of religion. To the government treasury.
And it was written off.
Written off!
By the president.
Was it supposed to be like that?
It's a topic for another day, Ofino. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me, Samson.
All right, we simply have to go. Thank you for being a part of the show so far. It has been a wonderful session in here. And that is where we'll put an end to the big story on Daybreak Live on Dominion Television today. And as we draw the curtain on today's edition of the big story, one truth stands clear. Corruption is not just a political issue. It is a human issue. Its impact is felt in quality of our schools, the safety of our roads, the strength of our economy, and the confidence citizens place in their leaders. The ripple effect we have discussed today reminds us that the fight against corruption is not the responsibility of institutions alone, but of an informed and engaged society that demands transparency and the accountability at every level of governance. Many thanks to Ofino Ignatius for sharing valuable insights on how and helping us to shed light on this critical national conversation. Samson Balogun is my name, and this has been The Big Story on Daybreak Live. Of course, link up with us on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast. The show continues. Up next is Trend Watch. We'll be back.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities